Today, I'm going to share the top 7 common reviewer critiques I see all the time in rejected SBIR applications. And I'll be reading some reviewer critiques from my own rejected SBIR application. As an example, when I was brand new in this space, I'll explain how I interpret each critique and the strategies I use to address them. And these are the same techniques I use to help my startup clients with their SBIR resubmissions. Hopefully, this video will provide you guys with practical tips and strategies to tackle reviewer critiques, learning from my own mistakes as a first-time investigator as you work through your resubmitted application. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Stacey Chin, an SBIR consultant and advisor who has helped clients secure over $15 million of SBIR and STTR funding. I work with clients developing technologies and innovations across all areas, including healthcare, defense, and climate. If you're interested in learning more about the SBIR and STTR program, I'll leave a link to another video in the description below. So when you submit an NIH SBIR application, you'll likely receive critiques from 3 different reviewers who are supposed to be experts within your industry. They will be evaluating the strengths and the weaknesses in 5 key areas, which are the significance, the investigator, the innovation, approach, and environment. I have another video where I can walk you through the peer review process. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. So the next part of this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the most common reviewer critiques I see all the time from rejected SBIR and STTR applications. And I'm going to break down how I interpret these critiques and share my strategies of how you can address them so that you can increase your odds the second time around to get SBIR funding. So let's dive right in. One of the common critiques I got on my application under Investigator was, the PI does not appear to have extensive experience in this space. The PI is a young investigator with little experience beyond graduate work, no postdoctoral work, and no business experience. But it's true, I was young and I didn't have any business experience. So especially for first new-time investigators, they don't want you to be intimidated by applying for these applications. So in order to combat this critique was to strengthen my team. That means if I was lacking the technical and business expertise, I needed to onboard other people that has a lot of expertise within this space. Other people with PhDs who have done research in this space for maybe over 10 or 20 years. I also needed someone with commercialization expertise that can advise me on the go-to-market strategy. And so in order to get my SBIR awarded the second time around, what I had to do was put together a mentoring plan. How these expert advisors and consultants are going to help me to nurture my growth as a young investigator so that I can pursue these SBIR efforts and eventually be successful in order to take my technology towards commercialization. Under innovation, I got this weakness in my first SBIR application. The development of the technology is not novel. Numerous other groups and companies have attempted this approach. The chemistry is a minor modification of the existing technologies. So what does this mean? When I see my startup clients receive this reviewer critique, that signals to me that we did not do a good job to outline the innovative features and uniqueness of the technology itself. And there's many reasons for this. The reviewer may have missed an important aspect within the narrative, or they might just not be aware of the commercial opportunity within this space. But either way, it is still our job as a PI to better articulate why our innovation is so unique and why, if successful, it'll have a competitive edge in the market. So in case you received a critique where the reviewer thought that your innovation is not novel, here's a couple things you can do. First, put together a competitive landscape and showcase who else are you competing against. Next, explain what are their weak points and why your innovation is filling a market gap that these other competitive technologies is not currently solving. And then finally, tell the reviewer how your innovation has a competitive advantage and what is your unique value proposition. So the best combat this reviewer critique, reframe the narrative and educate the reviewer what competitive technologies are out there and why our technology stand out from the crowd if successful. Another common critique, and one I also got myself, was that under approach, the reviewer said there are no quantitative metrics of success. Within your SBIR application, it is important to inform the reviewers that you know, or rather, what does success look like in a measurable outcome, reviewing each of the specific aims that we propose to do, and then insert a section called deliverables or milestones, where we outline quantitative metrics that we want to hit in order to inform us that we have successfully completed this aim. This will increase the rigor of our R&D approach, giving the reviewers the confidence they need of what success looks like at the end of the day. Another really common critique that I see on rejected applications all the time, and one that I also got received myself, was that the timeline to complete these proposal aims seems overly ambitious. So Usually, the proposal period for a phase 1 SBIR application is about 6 to 12 months, whereas phase 2 can go up to 24 or even 36 months. And so if we propose in our R&D plan too many experiments that reviewers might think would oversee that timeline, they might tell you that I don't have the confidence that you can complete all these experiments within that time frame. And so when I see my startup clients get this reviewer critique, there's two different strategies we can entertain. First, we can revisit our R&D approach and see if there's any experiments we can cut back that may not be needed to get to our end goal. We can narrow our focus on other more important experiments so we can allocate the appropriate time and resources to carry those out towards completion. As a second approach, we also push back on the reviewer critique and say, we do not agree with this assessment. And if so, we have to provide a thorough justification to explain why the investigators have all the necessary skill set, resources, and expertise to carry out experiments within the proposed time frame. Now, another common reviewer critique I see all the time on rejected SBIR applications, and one I also received myself, is that the go-to-market plan is unclear. From my experience, this critique appears more frequently when the investigator team either has a strong technical or clinical background, but might be lacking of the go-to-market or commercialization expertise. And if this is the case, usually the SBIR proposals are more heavily weighted towards answering research questions versus trying to translate knowledge and innovation towards the commercial market. And so when I see this critique, we want to hash out what is our go-to-market plan. So to figure this out, I ask my clients a lot of questions, such as what is the product or service you're trying to deliver? Who is your customer target and why do they want this innovation? And then 3, how do we plan to generate revenue? Having a clear go-to-market strategy will help us to better articulate how we plan to take our R&D efforts and translate that towards the commercial efforts. Another review critique under environment was most of the equipment is available to the small business only through the university lab. And this indicates that the small business is limited in its ability to carry out the R&D efforts. It is important for startups to inform the reviewers that they have access to their own facilities and resources. Usually, when startups are lacking this resource, this might raise a red flag to reviewers, where the startup has to depend on external third parties, whether it's a research hospital, a research university, or other contract organizations, in order to develop the proposed innovation. So to combat this reviewer critique within a resubmission, I usually tell startups or to rent out lab space, whether it is in an incubator or a different research group, and to include a letter of support or a lease agreement within the resubmit SBIR application. However, if the research still heavily needs to rely on the research university or hospital in order to fulfill the SBIR requirements, they might want to consider resubmitting as an STTR instead. Another common review critique I see all the time is the commercial premise of the proposed technology is not strong and that there is a lack of the final product. If my startup clients receive this critique, and this is one I got myself as well, that means we didn't clearly articulate what is the end product or commercial service we plan to deliver if these SBIR efforts were successful. And so when we go for the resubmission, it is really important to state from the get-go whether we are planning to deliver a product, a digital health platform, a service, a therapeutic, or anything else, or what other way we anticipate the end goal would be. At the end of the day, we have to deliver some sort of solution to the customer, and we have to be very clear of whatever that solution is. And so it's important to restate this both in the introduction, the specific aims, the abstract, and in your research strategy, so that we can clearly articulate to the reviewer what we anticipate our end product would be upon successful SBIR completion. If you found any of these tips helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you can like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you can learn other ways to keep your equity throughout your fundraising journey. And don't forget to check out our website at keepyourequity.co, where you find lots of other resources, templates, courses, and other advice on how you can secure non-dilutive SBIR funding. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in a video very soon.